we're already 2 weeks into the new season. There are quite a few surprises around the league, but the Buffalo Sabres have to be the biggest, winning 4 of their first 5 games, including a sweep of the 3 Western Canada teams. Unbelievable. They've outscored opponents 22-11, and the goaltender has been terrific so far. Eric Comrie, 2 of his 3 starts he's won. He's got a .930 save percentage. He became the first Sabres goalie to record back-to-back 40 save wins. And 41-year-old Craig Anderson, 2-0 with the 1.00 goals against and a .970 save percentage. Alex Tuch had his first career hat trick. He's got 7 points in 5 games. But Rasmus Dahlin, wait, I know you want to talk about this guy. The first defenseman in NHL history to score in each of his team's first 5 games of the season. This kid's still only 22 years old. Whit, have you been watching him much or what? I know you said they're legit now, Buffalo.
Yeah, well, so this is a dream start for this team. And Biz and I argued a bunch over the offseason and early on about, he still thought this team wasn't near ready to win or near ready to compete for the playoffs. And I completely disagree. Now, granted, this start has been out of this world. It's not going to continue like this. There's going to be ups and downs. But they are here, and they are going to be challenging for the playoffs the entire season. I don't think that they'll get in a top 3 spot in their division, but I believe that they'll be right there for a wild card. Funny enough, if you take them, Ottawa, and Detroit, one of them's definitely getting in, and you'll see maybe one really kind of fall off, and then maybe another one that doesn't get in and fights till the end. But 3 interesting teams. But when I go to Buffalo and I go to Dahlin, I got to give Granato a lot of respect in this, because this guy went through hell and back, it felt like, the last few years, and he dealt with all this bullshit. And finally, when Eichel left, things seemed to change. We saw the vibe of the game that he was back and they won. We saw Alex Tuch and how much he loves being a Sabre. He looks great already this year. But Dahlin's the big piece to me, only because he's that first overall pick. It's been a little while. And now, last year you saw the offense, but there's just certain turnovers and there's certain lapses of judgment defensively that really kind of hurt the team 5-on-5. Even though you're producing that well as a defenseman, being a defenseman, you still got to play in your own end. That's been great this year. He's playing with an edge, too. He's kind of a motherfucker to play against out there. He skates so well. His skill is so great. I think, had any defenseman ever scored his first 4 games, now he's at 5. And he's showing that he could actually lead this team in scoring. Like, it would not be surprising to me at all. I know Roman Josi had 96 points last year. Am I expecting that? No. But if he got 80 points, and I was talking Granelli for the over 55 call or something
that's what
like
I'm
that.
saying. It's looking pretty good now.
But, dude, the way this guy is in the offensive zone, he really can play offensively like a forward can. His vision, his skating, his shot, and it's just changed the team. Now, there's many things to this team that I wonder if kind of is going to be able to stay this way. Goaltending's the biggest one.
Yeah.
Anderson has to be able to stay healthy. He's 41 years old. I don't know if that's possible, but if Comrie,
been playing sick.
If he could be a hidden gem, man. He came from Winnipeg. He looked good over there at times, and now he's kicking phenomenally. But the teams they beat Florida. They've beat who have they beat? Calgary.
No, I think they lost to Florida. They lost 4-3 to Florida.
Okay, that was the game they lost, right?
But still a great game, very engaged. Tuch and Kachuk were going at it. Like, they're fucking competing their balls off.
And they're the youngest team in the league. And you can tell there's like a culture change there. And that's not at all me saying Jack Eichel was like a problem there. We've been over that. But it's just the fact that he's gone and that the questions no longer have to be answered and that they have their core. So Dylan Cousins doesn't even really get mentioned. Stud. Absolute baller. This kid, John Paterka, who's I think a second rounder in 2020, he's German. He looks great. And then this is without getting anything. I think Jack Quinn's played 3 games, has no points. Hinostroza, who Biz, you saw in Arizona how good
he buzzes.
He's 2 assists in the first 2 games. I think he was in the lineup.
Yeah.
You could take over, but this team isn't really going anywhere. It's because they play a certain way. They're exciting and they're fast, and the youth is so contagious with that team. And then the fan base is just so rabid about them that I think it's an exciting time to be a Sabres fan. I don't think they're going to continue like this, but they're going to be there all year. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I'm not going to apologize for being too hard on them. And I still need to see a lot more. Like let's just even look at this little stretch they got now. They just went to Western Canada and they swept the trip. Incredible job. Credit where it's due. They had this team prepared right from fucking puck drop coming in the regular season to compete. Was saying that they're going to be a lottery pick team by the end of the year maybe a bit too harsh. Okay, sure. Maybe I'll say that. But They got Montreal, they got Chicago, and the Kraken the next 3 games. Those are games now. If you're going to consider yourself of a higher stature,
You got to win those.
You got to win 2 of the 3. You got to string some together.
Seattle looks good, though.
Seattle looks a lot better than they did when I fucking chirped them during the first and second intermission when they were playing St. Louis the other night on TNT. Because before that, guys, just a boring team to watch with not much identity. But you look at their roster and they got some fucking gamers. And I know I'm jumping around. Let's go back to Buffalo. I'm going to keep a close eye on them and see what they can do against these teams that they're fucking supposed to be. Kraken aside, hey, I know Montreal's playing good hockey, but if you want to be a playoff team, these are games you can't miss. You got to be able to string some together after proving that you go out west and beat some big boys. So, I mean, congratulations. You caught Calgary on an off night. They've had a few emotional games. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Let's not plan the parade, but congratulations on a team that needed to have a good start.
It's crazy, though. Like, I'm just going through the lineup. Darlene, 22. Tuck, 26. Like, Tuck, that's not very old. 26 years old. He's got 7 points in 5 games. Olofsson, 27. Middlestat, 23. That's a player to keep your eye on because that is a guy. If Middlestat can get 50, 60 points during the playoffs, I heard it here first. Then you go like Paterka, 20. Tage Thompson, 24. Cousins, 21. It's nuts, dude, how young they are. Not even mention Owen Powers, 19. It is going to be a tough thing for them to deal with their division and how many good teams are in the Eastern Conference. But this team's fun to watch. I'll say that. And I remember Buffalo being on TV and just being like, oh, Jesus. Boring. Now I'm going to ESPN Plus. I'm tuning into their games. Partly because my reputation.
Let's see halfway through the year how these 4 a.m. bar closures take care of them. Let's see if they're not getting sucked.
And there's a lot of big deal brewing up there.
There's a lot of big deal brewing, and I'll tell you what, Buffalo, it's a sleeper town. It ate us place. And spit us out at Chiclets Cup. These guys got to do a whole season. We'll see. And the Bills are doing as good as they're doing. They're getting dragged out on Sundays to celebrate. So we'll see. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. There's it's a few.
I understand 6 games or whatever it is, 5 games, but let me tell you, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. And when you start like this, it's only 5 games, but it's a culture change and it's an attitude where you're like, all right, we could do it. Fans don't understand that. Like when you're like, it's been 5 games, who cares? Like, dude, that could change an entire vibe around a locker room. Like if you start 1-4, it's like, oh, what are we doing again? Yeah, now they have the confidence.
Selves.
Absolutely. It does feel like they turned a little bit of a corner here. They're not over the hump yet. It's still a lot of ways to go. But early in the season, it feels like things are a little turn around a little bit for the team.
I'll tell you this though. I'm going to hammer them on the Barstool Sportsbook app. That whole 3-game stretch there.
Yeah.
What's the when you got the 2 goals? The puck line or the money line? The
puck line is puck line is when you're laying -1.5 goals. You got to win by 2 or more.
Every game I'll do that.
Remember when we should mention? I think they were a different team, but I think they were like leading the division a couple years ago and won 12 of the final 60 games. Or whatever.
Kind of like how the Bills did for a while. They'd start out 4-0, be up on the division, and then
the Bills are a wagon now.
Not right now, I know. But who else we got? All right. Anything you guys got to say on the Sabres? Anything that we're not covering?
I will not put out a wagon shirt for the Buffalo Sabres.
Don't even think about it.
I've gotten lots of tweets. I've gotten death threats saying, don't do it, Granelli, don't do it. So hand up now, not doing the wagon shirt.
I'll tell you this. If they go 3-0 in these next 3 games, we're dropping it after the Canadiens game. That's the 3rd game.
That's on you. You made that decision, not me. Death threat, send him business way.
That's a win-win. He gets the merch money, or he could say, "I told you this team sucks."
It's going to. Are they going to buy into the hype? Or are they going to remain focused and keep off their phones and not worry about the wagon shirts? They can call us whatever they want. We're going to keep winning some hockey games.
Biz, I've been looking at them. Yeah, I've watched a few Sabres games. They're getting this much production already, and they still have guys that haven't even scored yet. I don't think Jeff Skinner's had a goal. A bunch of other guys on the depth there haven't scored. So the best is yet to come, I'd say, for this team. That's my take, anyways.
All right.